Welcome back to a video of the 2013-32 team franchise. Today, we're going to do a year recap. So we're just going to recap the league, um, everything that happened, and yeah, so let's get into it. It's going to be a longer video. So, start us off, we'll just take a look at the standings. Start with the AFC. So, the Patriots are the 1 seed. They went on a 9-game winning streak to end the year. Matt Patricia's defense was amazing. He's a hot head coaching candidate. They have some guys on their staff that might become defensive coordinators elsewhere. Though a good year from the Patriots, and they are the 1 seed. Are they going to go to the third straight Super Bowl? Are they going to win back to back? I don't think so. I don't know if they can get back to the Super Bowl. For now, it would be the third year in a row, but we'll see. Anything is possible. You have Houston, one of the bigger surprises this season. 13-3 under rookie quarterback Geno Smith. Chance at rookie of the year. Um, really good season. In real life, this team was the worst in the league. They went 2-14 this season and ended up getting Jadeveon Clowney. They won't be. Another team that I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl winner might come out. I think the NFC is stronger this season. But Houston, just with the rookie quarterback, he struggles at times. I don't know if they're fit to win the Super Bowl. And then if they have to go into New England in the AFC Championship, if that's what it ends up being, that's going to be tough. Colts 10-6, bounce back year after an 8-8 season last year, go 10-6 in the playoffs. Pittsburgh, really good bounce back, 5-win team last year. They doubled it to 6 or to 10, and win the AFC North. Cincy's right behind them at 10-6. They have a negative point differential, but they get into the playoffs at 10-6. Second straight year they'll be in the playoffs. The Chargers, first year under head coach Mike McCoy, coming in on a 2-game losing streak, but they won the NFC West or AFC West and are in the playoffs year 1 under Mike McCoy. The Broncos missed the playoffs with the second best offense in the NFL, finished 10-6, but that is not good enough for a wild card spot because the Bengals hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over them. John Fox wasn't fired, but he has probably the hottest seat in the NFL going into next season. I mean, that's bad. All the talent on that team that missed the playoffs, that comes back on coaching. So John Fox isn't fired yet, but he is on a really, really hot seat. And even if he makes the playoffs next year, you have to make a run. Can't lose the Patriots. You have to beat the Patriots. You have to get past Goliath. And I don't know if they can do it. You have the Chiefs, Jets, and Bills all at 8-8. Chiefs fired their head coach Romeo Crennel after 3 years there. Jets and Bills will keep on Rex Ryan and Chan Gailey. Ravens finished 7-9, so a really disappointing season for Baltimore, who was a game away from going to the Super Bowl. Miami, Joe Philbin was fired. They finished 6-10. Browns finished 4-12, but you might remember they doubled their win total. They had 2 wins in 2012. And they have 4 in 2013, so it's a double their wins. I would consider it a successful season for the Browns. They doubled their win total. Raiders fired Dennis Allen. They were really bad. Jaguars, Chip Kelly wasn't great this year. It was really bad. They both knew what they were getting into, so he's not really on the hot seat next year. If they don't improve next year, he will be out. But they were 3-5 on the road. They don't have any home wins. And then the Titans, obviously, they fired their head coach midseason. Interim Greg Williams only got 1 win. Yeah, bad year for Tennessee. So that is the AFC. Now we'll get to the NFC. Packers are the 1 seed last year. They were the 6. This year they're the 1. 12-4. They are a really, really good football team. Really, really good. And same with the Giants, who looked like they had the 1 seed locked up, but then went on a 2-game skid to end the year. Finished 12-4 as the 2 seed. Philly also finishes 12-4. They started out rocky, got hot. They finished 12-4. They don't win the division. The Giants swept them. But Philly, remember, this team was here last year. They were in the Super Bowl. They were an injury away from winning the Super Bowl. Andy Reid might get his ring. They're healthy as well. Atlanta, with possible, well, almost guaranteed MVP Matt Ryan for second year in a row. Um, yeah, Matt Ryan's really good. Broke the passing yards record this season. So, yeah. Saints, Sean Payton is back from suspension, and they make the playoffs, rolling in on a 4-game winning streak. The first team out was the Cowboys, who are also on a 4-game winning streak, finished 9-6-1. Their tie with the Seahawks early in the season kind of killed them. Bears, they finished 8-8, and Lovie Smith is out as head coach. Um, Made the playoffs last year, won a playoff game, beat the Packers in the playoffs. I mean, that was huge. We thought, okay, Lovie Smith's here for life, right? No, he's not. After an 8-8 season where they were one of the Super Bowl favorites, he is out, and the Bears are gonna have a really interesting offseason because Jay Cutler seems to have no interest in returning. They're gonna have a new head coach, um, and a mid-tier draft pick, so it's gonna be interesting to see how the Bears handle it. Seattle makes the playoffs with a losing record at 7-8-1, winning their division. Could have been 8-7-1, but they rested their starters in the last week of the game because it meant nothing. They didn't want anybody getting hurt. Lions finished 7-9 with the league's best defense, the league's best scoring defense under Jim Schwartz, so he's a hot defensive coordinator candidate. But they fire Jim Schwartz. Tampa Bay finishes 7-9 on a 2-game losing streak. Not as good as last year. Another team surrounded by question marks. What's going on with Josh Freeman? It seems like him and coaching don't get along. So Josh Freeman could be out in Tampa. Carolina fired head coach Ron Rivera. This team was 6-2 at one point. They finished 1-7 in their last 8. That's unacceptable. Ron Rivera has been fired. He'll be a hot name for defensive coordinator. He's well respected within the league. In 1-7 on the road. That's really, really bad. That just shows that your roster isn't good enough. You can't go in and win on the road. Team's not good enough. Rams finished 6-10. Obviously, they were 4-3, 4-4 maybe when Sam Bradford went down. He's a name to watch to be moved possibly, but seeing how bad the team was really after he left, I'm willing to bet that they're going to hang on to him. Washington under Bill O'Brien first year, that was their win total from 3-6. Pretty good season. They were really competitive down the stretch there. The Vikings, who at one point looked like the worst team in the NFL, go on a 3-game winning streak to end the year 6-10. They finished, I think, the year 5-2 in their last 7, so that's really good. They finally started to get together late in the year. They're going to have a new quarterback. Christian Ponder's almost guaranteed to be out. San Fran, what happened to that? I mean, these guys were on top of the world entering 2012. Everyone booked them, Super Bowl favorites, Alex Smith, Jim Harbaugh. And these past 2 years, you went 8-8 last year. Okay, you get rid of Alex Smith. Alex Smith becomes a top 5 quarterback, and Colin Kaepernick looks like the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. You finish on a 5-game losing streak. You finish 5-11. You have a top pick, and Jim Harbaugh is out as head coach. So another situation where hiring a guy from college doesn't work out. He will return to the college ranks, probably succeed there, but stop hiring college coaches as head coaches because Jim Harbaugh is the latest name to fail. And Greg Schiano as well doesn't look like. I mean, year 1 was good. Year 1 was good for Harbaugh. By year 2, it's down, and then year 3, it's awful. So hopefully, for Greg Schiano's sake, it doesn't follow those footsteps. And then the Cardinals under Bruce Arians finished 4-12, worst team in the AFC. The Titans will have the number 1 pick, followed by the Jags, Raiders, Browns, and Cardinals round out the top 5. Niners at 6, Vikings at 7, Dolphins at 8, Commanders at 9, Rams at 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. All right, and we'll just take a look at the divisions, the standings. Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans, Patriots, Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings, Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Seahawks, Rams, 49ers, Cardinals. So those are the standings. And now we'll take a look at, I guess, just statistics around the league, right? Just take a look at the stats from the league. So we had 4 quarterbacks throw for over 5,000 yards. Matt Ryan, most importantly, broke the passing yard record with shattered it, shattered Drew Brees' record, 5,807. He was 200 yards away from throwing for 6,000 yards in a season. That's insane. Matt Ryan will probably never break that record. That's going to be tough to break. 47 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. It's almost booked that he's going to win MVP. The only guy that maybe will win it is Peyton Manning. I don't think Matt Ryan will be unanimous just because Peyton Manning did have a really good year, but he had 600 less yards. To be fair, he threw about 40 less passes, 39 less passes. But do I think Peyton Manning's getting 600 yards and 39 passes? No, I don't. Um, 2 less touchdowns, 4 more interceptions, a higher completion percentage. So I think Manning will get some votes, but I do think Matt Ryan will probably end up winning it. Drew Brees, really good year with Sean Payton returning. Tony Romo, really, really good year. He got the contract extension early in the season, and after he got that extension, he played like the best quarterback in the NFL. So $25 million for him over the next 2 years might be an underpay just based on how he played this season. Philip Rivers under Mike McCoy had a really good year. RG3, really good sophomore season. We now with Bill O'Brien have some stability in the new owner, new GM, new coach. They all want you. They all support you. You don't got Dan Snyder. You don't got Mike Shanahan anymore. You got these good, you know, guys and a much improved sophomore year. Eli Manning, good season, really good season. Tom Brady, good season. Rodgers, really good year. Could have been MVP. I mean, these are MVP numbers. It's just so many other guys put up MVP numbers. Alex Smith, from being benched to one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Brian Hoyer, signed to the Browns this offseason from the Cardinals, and a really, really good year for him. And over these past 2 years, he's actually been a pretty damn good quarterback. They only have him at $7 million right now. So this, in my opinion, if you're paying someone $7 million for 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns with only 13 interceptions, put, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So credit Mike Lombardi and Mark Dressman for recognizing something about Brian Hoyer. Be like, okay, this guy's our guy. And Cleveland usually is always like, all right, they're probably gonna take a quarterback. I don't think they need to take a quarterback. Brian Hoyer is only 28. He's having the best year. I mean, the best year of his career. I think Brian Hoyer is their quarterback moving forward, at least for the next 2 years. So I don't think they'll take a quarterback first round, especially with how many holes are on this team. But we'll get into that during the offseason, obviously. Andrew Luck, really good year. Top quarterback in the NFL. Andy Dalton, Big Ben, Matt Schaub, Josh Freeman, impending free agent. We'll see what happens with him. Not bad stats, but we'll see what happens. Matt Stafford, not great, just average numbers. I mean, those Matt Stafford numbers. Carson Palmer, also most likely going to hit the open market, so interesting to see where he ends up landing. Chad Henne had a really good year, except for the fact he only completed 57% of his passes and threw it 545 times. Jaguars are probably going to upgrade a quarterback. Maybe they go get a Carson Palmer, Josh Freeman, or something. Maybe a Johnny Manziel, Chip Kelly and Johnny Manziel. Maybe they wait a year and get Mariota. We'll see what happens, but quietly good year from Chad Henne. Ryan Tannehill, Dolphins fired head coach. They fired their GM. Tannehill might be done 2 years, and it might be over in Miami. You have a new head coach. You're gonna have a new general manager. The stats aren't great. Men lie, women lie. The stats don't lie. He's not. I mean, like Russell Wilson's better. You know, RG3 is way better. Andrew Luck's way better. The only one he's not better than, I mean, Kellen Moore's better, and he's a backup. The only one he's not better than or the only one he is better than of that class is Brandon Whedon. But everyone is better than Brandon Whedon. Jay Cutler, pretty bad year. 57% completion percentage is awful. But he'll be a free agent most likely. Cam Newton, really good season. So that's an attractive job, the Panthers' job, because you have Cam Newton. EJ Manuel, good rookie year. Colin Kaepernick, really bad quarterback. I mean, San Fran has to upgrade. Geno Smith, really, really good year from the rookie. He will almost guaranteed be the rookie of the year. Russell Wilson puts up similar numbers to last year. Mark Sanchez has a all right year. Um, those are average numbers. If the Jets really want to compete for a Super Bowl, they either have to surround Mark Sanchez with a lot of pieces, or they need to do something. Christian Ponder, he'll probably be out in Minnesota. Ryan Fitzpatrick started like the second half for the Titans, not great. Joe Flacco, not worth the contract extension. He got really bad year. They fired Cam Cameron, offensive coordinator, so we'll see what happens. Who they go out and get. Mike Vick puts up similar numbers to last year. Less touchdowns, more interceptions, similar amount of yards. Andy Reid offense. Those are the numbers. Sam Bradford got hurt. Only played 10 games. So yeah, the last 6 games were all Derek Anderson, who played good for a backup role. Obviously, he'll go somewhere else and probably be in the same exact role he was this year, a backup who can win you a couple games. Matt Flynn, you just get the guys down here, backups that get play time and garbage time and whatnot. So those are the passing statistics. So your passing yards leader is Matt Ryan, who also breaks the record. Most completions is Drew Brees. Most attempts is Romo. Most touchdowns is Matt Ryan, and most interceptions is Colin Kaepernick. Best completion percentage for a starting quarterback is Drew Brees with 71, and Geno Smith with 71. And the best passer rating from a starter is Matt Ryan. What was the longest pass? 97 yards from Chad Henne. I remember that. That was a walk-off touchdown. I remember that. I was playing with them. Alrighty, we get into rushing statistics now. Arian Foster, good year. Ray Rice, Jamal Charles, Matt Forte, LaShawn McCoy in only 13 games, and Ray Rice only did his in 14 games. You won't see Adrian Peterson up here because they only played 6 or 7 games. Doug Martin's up here. That's nice to see. You got rookie Le'Veon Bell, C.J. Spiller, Amon Bradshaw with 14 touchdowns. And then around at the 1,000 yards rushing is Steven Jackson, who did it in only 13 games. You got guys like Marshawn, who were hurt for a couple games. Stephen Ridley, who really had a late season emergence. Latavius Murray, who was the Viking starter for majority of the year with Adrian Peterson being hurt. Frank Gore only played 9 games. There's rookie Eddie Lacy, not a great year. Rookie Chris Thompson, pretty quietly good year. You eventually will find there's Adrian Peterson, 380 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in 5 games, in which really it was about 3 games because 2 of them he got hurt. So it's like 4 games, or half and half. Yeah, so not a lot of great rushing numbers. Most carries, Doug Martin. Most yards, Arian Foster. Most touchdowns, Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles had 2,000 yards from scrimmage and over 20 touchdowns, I think. So he had a really, really good season. Amon Bradshaw, 14 touchdowns and fumbles. Is Aaron Rodgers has the most fumbles at 5. And there's RG3 with 4. Receiving, Julio Jones, 1,700 yards. Really, really good year for him, and that's only in 13 games. He missed 3 games, still led the league in receiving yards. Not touchdowns this year, but receiving yards. Wes Welker, first year with the Broncos, has a really good year. Victor Cruz with the other Manning, really good season. Gronk, obviously, best guy on that Patriots offense. Greg Jennings goes to the Chargers and has a really, really good year. Larry Fitz, Percy Harvin, who got traded in the middle of the season. Another good year for him. Demarius Thomas, Jimmy Graham, who hasn't been re-signed by the Saints yet. AJ Green, Tavon Austin, rookie, could get a couple votes. Same with DeAndre Hopkins, rookie, 2 rookies here. Maybe the future of the league. Tavon Austin, DeAndre Hopkins, both really, really good. Antonio Brown, Mike Williams, Steve Smith, Brandon Marshall, Calvin Johnson, Cole Beasley, Greg Olson, Tyler Eifert, rookie. So if they decide to go get a new quarterback, he'll have at least one person in the third to Tyler Eifert, Denarius Moore, Antonio Gates, Julian Edelman, Mike Wallace, Zach Miller, Darius Hayward Bay, Jerica Caudry, Jason Witten, Laurent Robinson, Travis Benjamin had 1,000 yards. Really? I don't think that. Harry Douglas, Dallas Clark, both almost 1,000 yards. I mean, that's insane. There's Kobe Fleener, Martellus Bennett, good season. Marvin Jones. There's Danny Amendola, Roddy White. Reception leader was Cruz and Welker. Yards was Julio. Touchdowns was Hopkins. Rack yards is Julio. Longest reception is Cecil Shorts the third, 97. Marquise Goodwin, rookie, had a really good year as well. But yeah, so that's receiving. Blocking, nobody cares about. Nick Hardwick allowed no sacks, and Bobby Massey allowed 19. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Defensively, here we go. Bobby Wagner leads the league in tackles. David Harris, Ray Maluga, Darrell Washington, Patrick Willis, Paul Pelesny, Luke Kuechly, Defensive Player of the Year candidate at 139 with 7 touchdowns. Devontae David has a good year. Carlos Dansby. There's Brian Urlacher, and what could be his last season. There's the Ray Lewis replacement, James Laurinaitis. Jonathan Vilma. Rookie Manti Te'o. Frosty Rucker leads the league in tackles for loss. Tyson Alualu, Calais Campbell, Cameron Wake, Darnell Dockett, Julius Peppers, Lance Briggs. It's a shame how good that Bears defense was, and they missed the playoffs. Alden Smith, sacks. Gerard Mayo, once again, last year had 22. This year has 23. Really, really good player. J.J. Watt, Thomas Howard, Vince Wilfork, Lance Briggs. The Patriots defense was so good. Matt Patricia is a really, really hot head coaching candidate. Lance Briggs, Connor Barwin, JPP, Alden Smith, Cam Ray McDonald. Once again, it's a shame to see how quarterback play can ruin a team. San Fran is being ruined by poor quarterback play with Colin Kaepernick. Chicago got ruined with poor quarterback play from Jay Cutler. Calvin Pace, KJ Wright, Kyle Williams, Julius Peppers, Nigel Bradden, DeMarcus Ware, Calais Campbell, Frosty Rucker, Halati Nagata, DeAndre Levy, and that is all for double digits. Tony Cromartie leads in interceptions with the Jets. Darrell Revis right behind him, who formerly the Jets. Luke Kuechly, Morris Claiborne, Aaron Henderson, D'Angelo Hall, Janoris Jenkins. Rookie Darius Slays in there had a really, really good season. Buster Skrine with the most pass deflections. Forced fumbles, Bobby Wagner with 3, Justin Smith with 3. Blocked kicks, a lot of guys with 1, including Barcavius Mingo, who might be the defensive rookie of the year. Actually, we'll look at his numbers just because it was number 1 overall pick. 73 tackles, 9 tackles lost, 7 sacks, and an interception, and a blocked kick. So good, not a all right year for the number 1 overall pick. Safeties, got a couple. Defensive touchdowns, 2 from Kenny Phillips and Chris Greenwood. And that's all of the defensive stats. Kicking, only 1 guy was perfect on the year, not counting Matt Bosher. Randy Bullock missed no field goals and no extra points, was 100% from each. No one else was 100% from the field goal. And a lot of guys are 100%, like Shane Leckler. But, yeah, good year from him. Justin Tucker hit the longest 65-yarder, which is an NFL record. But I mean, no one really wants to sit here and look kicking stats. Punting. The Jets punt the most. The Texans punt the least. Most punting yards is the Dolphins. Average yards is Marquette King. You got Matt there. 18 punts inside the 20 for Kevin Huber. Touchback, Thomas Morstead. Longest punt was 74 from Thomas Morstead and Pat McAfee and Andy Lee. Kick return, most yards was Isaiah Peed. No touchdowns. Punt return, longest was Jamal Charles, who also had a touchdown. Lamar Miller had a touchdown. Marshawn Lynch had a touchdown. Arian Foster had a touchdown. LaShawn McCoy had a touchdown. And we will take a look at Jamal Charles' stats just so you all can see what I was talking about. Last year, obviously, he only played 4 games. This year, he was healthy fully. Was he fully healthy? Yes, he played all 16 games. 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground. And through the air, 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. So that is over 2,000 yards from scrimmage and over 20 touchdowns. Really good season for Jamal Charles. If you had him in fantasy, you are one happy camper. So that's the statistics. Let's look at team statistics. Yeah. So offensively, number 1 offense, Falcons. Then the Broncos, then the Chiefs, then the Saints at 4, Cowboys 5, Texans 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's rounds at the top 10. Chargers, Patriots, Buccaneers, Steelers, Browns, the top 15. Bears at 16, so right in the middle of the pack. Colts 17, Raiders 18, 49ers 19, Bills 20. Seattle, Bengals, Eagles, Cardinals, Ravens top 25 right there. Here's 26. 27 is the Panthers, 28 is the Lions, 29 is the Vikings, 30th is the Jags, 31st is the Jets, and the worst offense in the NFL was the Titans. The best passing offense was the Falcons, the worst was the Ravens. Best rushing offense was the Texans, the worst was the Jaguars, with just over 1,000 yards. Most points per game is the Chiefs, least are the Titans. Most passing touchdowns are the Falcons, least are the Titans. Most rushing touchdowns are the Chiefs, the least are the Jaguars. Most first downs are the Saints, least are the Titans. Pretty bad for the Titans. Defensively, number 1, Patriots 2, Lions 3, Bears, Dolphins 4, Eagles 5, Niners 6, Colts 7, Packers 8, Seahawks 9, Chiefs 10. Here's 11 is the Bills, 12 is the Commanders, but this is total defensive yards allowed. Giants at 13, 14, 15, 16. So Texans right in the middle of the pack. Rams 17, Ravens 18, Browns 19, Steelers 20. Cardinals, Bengals, Vikings, Broncos, Saints at through 25. Here's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 is the Falcons right at the bottom again. 31 is the Panthers, and 32 is the Jets. The Jets had the worst defense in the NFL. Wow. That doesn't seem right. That's just yards, though. When we get to points, I'm willing to bet they actually had a really good point scoring defense. Worst passing offense is the Panthers. The best or defense is the Patriots. The best rushing defense is the Eagles, and the worst is the Jaguars. Yeah, when you get the points, are the Jets down here? Yeah, the Jets. See, the Jets are one of the better scoring defenses. Lions, number 1 scoring defense. Falcons, the last scoring defense, and the Commanders and Rams are also up there, but yards. So it's about points, scoring defense. Sacks with the Patriots, 64. Wow. 20 from the Chargers. 9 fumble recoveries from the Bears and Eagles. 1 from a lot of teams that I'm not reading. Interceptions, 25 from the Colts. 7 from the Jaguars. Conversions, the best team on third down was the Texans and the Chargers. Worst were the Titans. Jags converted the least. Jags converted the least amount. Chargers converted the most. Texans tried the least. They had the least amount of third downs, and the Rams tried the most. Fourth downs, the Bills had the most conversions. The Eagles had the least. The Titans had the most attempts. The Texans had the least. Conversion rate, the Chargers had the best and the Eagles had the worst. 2-point conversions. Steelers had the most. Seahawks, Titans, Ravens, Buccaneers had the least. 0 2-point attempts from the Ravens and 6 from the Bills. 100% from a lot of teams, 0% from the same exact teams we just said. Red zone efficiency. Least offensive trips in the red zone. Titans, most Chiefs. Most red zone touchdowns, Chiefs. Least Titans, most field goals in the red zone are the Lions. See, that's the difference right there. I bet if half of those are touchdowns, Lions are probably in the playoffs. And the least are the Jets and 49ers. Red zone point percentage, 88 for the Browns. 88 for the Browns, 68 for the Rams. Most red zone defensive trips, Rams have the most, Lions have the least. Most touchdowns allowed in the red zone, Falcons have the most, Lions have the least. Lions had a really good red zone defense. Only allowed 36 trips, which was the least. Lions just had a really good defense. Most field goals allowed are the Panthers, least are the Falcons. And red zone point percentage defensively, teams score in the red zone against the Browns 93% of the time, or only 65% of the time against the Bills. Penalties, the most go to the Bengals, the least go to the Chargers, least amount of yards are the Texans, most are the Bears. So the Bears have 10 less penalties than the Bengals, but have almost 100 more yards and they have 100 more yards. They have 106 more yards and almost 50 more yards than number 2. And least were the Texans. Turnovers, best differential is the Colts, or once again the 49ers. Least amount of giveaways is the Vikings, most of the 49ers. Least of takeaways, 49ers, most Eagles at 32. Wow. Let's see where the top teams, where are the Texans at? Texans had a negative 7-point differential. Wow, that doesn't seem right, but I guess it is. And the Patriots had a negative 1. The Giants had a +3, and the Packers had a +9. But see, playoff team, not a playoff team, not a playoff team, not a playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, not a playoff team, not a playoff team, not a playoff team, playoff team, not a playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, and then the negatives playoff team. But it doesn't matter. So those are the statistics, team statistics. We can look at NFL records. See that Matt Ryan broke the record. Obviously, this is the real record at this point in time. And yeah, Matt Ryan crushed it. You see Matt Ryan will be on here twice, last year and this year. You also have Peyton Manning on here. That's the only record that would be broken. You have 20 from Julio last year, yeah. And Julio would be on here this year, yep. With 1,700 yards. So Julio probably would have broke it if it wasn't for his injury. Julio Jones would probably have broken. Would have been whose record? Jerry Rice's, I think, at this point, is record. So yeah, that's a league review, league recap. We can look at the playoff schedule. You have Colts, Steelers, Saints, Falcons, Bengals, Chargers, Eagles, Seahawks. That's the playoff lineup. Yeah, so that is, I guess, the league in review. Seems a little short, but I'm fine with that. I do want to look at one thing though. What was it? Well, what was it going to be? I wanted to look at. It doesn't show. Never mind. All right. Well, yeah. So that is the league recap 2013, and the playoffs will be here soon. So I'll catch y'all then and drop your predictions for the playoffs.